Hi boys and girls, it's Mrs. Hogan. I'm actually on a hike on my land because we have 12 acres. So my husband and I and my kids, sometimes we like to hike around our area. So today by myself, I actually thought I'm gonna take a hike to talk to my students about habitat, because we're gonna kind of talk about the habitat that I live on, and that's here in Colorado. So we'll be talking about that. First of all, our learning target is comparing habitats that different animals live in. So first of all, I'm going to show a little bit of a picture of some different habitats. Habitats are located all over the world, and they provide food, shelter, and water for animals. All of the plants and animals work together to make these habitats healthy. There are many food chains inside each one of these habitats. So the first habitat I'm going to talk about is the forest, which is where I'm at. As you can see, the forest behind me. Weather is usually cool at around 60 degrees, which is about what it is today. But it does get warmer and cooler, but about average, that's about our weather. Rain will fall and snow as well, so we do get snow. The vegetation is trees and shrubs, which you can see some of these are shrubs right here, and I have a tree behind me, and I actually am sitting on a mossy rock. You can even see some of these mossy rocks kind of by me. Ferns, wildflowers, and more. So there's forests that are in different places as well, not just in Colorado, that might have little bit different kinds of plants. Some animals we see here, and I have seen all of these on my land, is deer. I just had like 20 of them just the other day when I came outside up, because we have a little deer block that they were made of salt that they like to lick. Mice, squirrels. We have a black squirrel that keeps coming right up to my door. Skunks. I've smelt skunks before. Bears. I've had bears actually on my land quite a few times, and one time it was right at my window and it broke my hummingbird feeder, so we have to be careful with hummingbird feeders here. Owls, wolves. I've not seen a wolf though, and more. In the winter it gets much cooler and animals put on an extra layer of fat to keep warm, and I know bears do this. They are found on almost every continent. So in America, here in Colorado, we have forests. My next habitat is the desert. It actually gets hot. It can get up to 100 degrees, if not over that. Vegetation is mesquite grass, cactuses, and some different thistles and poppies. Animals are kangaroo rats, desert foxes. I know you learned about that in yesterday's lesson. Camels, cougars, bobcat snakes. A desert is any place with little to no precipitation. Even Antarctica could be called a desert, even though it's very, very cold though there. So that's unusual. The next one is the Arctic. That is very cold in dry temperatures, down to -90, meaning remember when it's really, really cold here in Colorado and it gets in the teens? This is way below zero, so really cold. There's not much vegetation. Animals are polar bears, Arctic foxes, whales, walruses, seals, and more. There's an extra day of darkness and sunshine because of Earth's tilt. Not all is covered in snow and ice. Some have grass, which is also unusual. This is a rainforest or a jungle, so you can call it a jungle or rainforest. The weather is hot, wet, and humid. Temperatures around 80 degrees. So if you've been to any tropical places, some places in Mexico or Costa Rica, they have some pretty rainforest areas. I think Hawaii, you would think of that as some rainforest, definitely areas where Miss Simpson's from. Large trees, vines, bright colored flowers, so a lot of vegetation. Animals are insects, spiders, frogs, sloths, toads, jaguars, toucans, parrots, and more. Some fun facts. A banana tree, coffee bushes, rubber trees all grow here. More than 1/4 of medicines have been discovered there. And I've seen banana trees when I was in Hawaii, actually. My last one is the ocean. An ocean is another habitat. So it's in the water, so it's mostly cold and dark. The vegetation is like that, corals and the coral reef, the seaweed, kelp, algae, animals, fish, sharks, dolphins, whales, octopuses, eels, and more. Do you know that 70% of the earth is covered with ocean? That's pretty amazing. So I'm going to read an animal habitat book, and then I'll tell you what your activity is going to be. So this is Animal Habitats. Got to give my book a hug. It's by Julie Lundgren, and it's a nonfiction story. Hello, habitat. A habitat is where an animal lives. Most black bears live in forests, and that's what I've seen as black bears. An octopus lives in the sea or ocean. Animals need food, water, and shelter to live. They find these things in their habitat. Some turtles need sunny places to warm themselves. Some butterflies need flowers. They drink the sweet nectar. Heaps of habitats. Animals live in habitats on land and in water. Land habitats include forests, grasslands, and deserts. Prairie dogs live in the grasslands, which is another kind of, like where you see farms would be a grassland. Deserts get very little rain. They can be cold or hot. The Arctic fox lives in a kind of cold desert called a tundra. Some lizards live in hot deserts. Tropical rainforests are warm and wet all year. These habitats are near the equator. Many kinds of monkeys live in the trees in tropical rainforests. Oceans, lakes, and wetlands are water habitats. You can find frogs and ducks there. Oceans are salty water habitats. Most lakes are freshwater habitats. Sharks patrol ocean waters looking for their next meal. Freshwater pike live in many North American lakes. So here in Colorado, we don't have the ocean, but we do have lakes and rivers. Changing habits. People change habits. These changes can hurt animals. Here's an oil spill. Here is some people cutting down trees. So when we make changes, it can change the habitat for what people need. People should take great care of their habitats, which I know, like we do here, and I know you do at your house as well. I know many of you are growing gardens and other things to make your habitat. So let me just tell you a little bit about your the activity, and you'll see the instructions there. It's going to be a guided drawing. I know my students miss guided drawing. So you're going to have a choice of 3 different animals with 3 different habitats, and I'll have those links on there. You'll be able to choose one. If you want to do all 3, you may, but you just need to choose one. I want you to take a picture of it, or you can record with it, holding it, and tell me a little bit about the habitat that it lives in and what you learned today and on all your lessons this week on the videos I sent. We'll be able to give you the information to let me know a little bit about the habitat of the animal you drew. So again, there'll be 3 links, and you can choose between one of those 3. There's 3 links, and you can choose one of those. Miss you all. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.